Okay, love's growth is really an exploration of the idea that of kind of testing your understanding of what love can be. And there's a confusion in the speaker about whether their love can actually be real if it changes. So can love actually change? And he begins, I scarce believe my love to be so pure as I thought it was. So I can barely believe my love is pure, because it doth endure vicissitude. It changes. It maintains change. So when there are changes in fortune and season, it remains as the grass remains. So my love isn't impure. Sorry, my love isn't pure because it actually changes. So there must be something wrong. There's a really kind of perplexing problem he seems to have right in the outset. Methinks I lied all winter when I swore my love was infinite. So all winter I've been saying I love this woman. So I must, and I swore, I made oaths that this was the case, and I must have been lying, because springs makes it seem more. It's springtime, and I seem to love more. It's almost like a false kind of confusion, but it genuinely seems to be bothering him. How can I possibly say I love? Love is permanent. If, okay, spring has come and it seems I love more. But if this medicine, love, which cures all sorrow with more, not only be no quintessence, but mixed of all stuff's paining soul or sense, and of the sun his working vigor borrow, love's not so pure and abstract as they used to say, which have no mistress but their muse, but as all else, being elemental too, love sometimes would contemplate, sometimes do. Okay, so that's a very long idea, but basically, if love, which is a kind of medicine, cures everything, it can't be the quintessence, a perfect example, because if from the sun it actually gets more strength, that means it's not pure and abstract as they who have no mistress but their muse. So those people who wrote poetry but didn't actually have real girlfriends or real loves, thought it was. So those people who imagine love as this abstraction think it's pure, abstract, immovable, it's not in the flesh. Well, they're full of nonsense, because actually, in reality, the sun gives strength to love. Love, in reality, is sometimes it's thinking, sometimes it's doing. So sometimes it's abstract and pure, quote unquote, and sometimes it's about actually physically loving. This might be a poem thinking out loud about the distinction between a kind of emotional love and a physical love. And yet, it's not over, because he's still confused. And yet, well, here's the problem. No greater but more eminent. So it's not better, but more visible or more prestigious. Love by the spring is grown. So spring makes us see love. Just as, like, in the firmament, in the sky, stars by the sun are not enlarged, but shown. So, the sun doesn't make us see stars as bigger. They're not made bigger, but they're seen. Gentle love deeds as blossoms on a bow from love's awakened root do bud out now. So this language, blossoms on a bough, so the little flowers on the branch, that image, love's awakened root do bud out now, the awakened root. This imagery is natural and sexual at the same time. So here we go. So now we're getting that idea that actually spring is sexual, love is sexual. If, as in water stirred, more circles be produced by one. So when you put a stone into water, you start off this process of ripples. The image that's made, love such additions take. Oh, just like ripples. So it's not that love alters, it causes repercussions in nature. Those like so many spheres, but one heaven makes. So all those ripples become the love. For they all concentric unto thee. You are the center. You are the center from which all love progresses. So the metaphysical comparison again, he's trying to wrestle with what does this change mean? And he's appealing to natural imagery, which is unusual actually for Donne. So then strangely he yokes onto another image. And though each spring do add to love new heat, so every spring we add a heat, which has implications, again, I think sexually, as princes do in times of action get new taxes. Why financial imagery has shown up is strange to me. So if in wartime princes get new taxes because they have to fight the war, but don't give them back in peacetime, no winter is going to pull back the increase of spring. So in spring, love will grow. Nothing's going to stop spring's power. Winter can't stop that, and that doesn't make love any true. Love is that center. Everything out of that is possible. So this is a kind of refutation to the idea that love is permanent, unmovable, unchangeable. It's also a refutation of the idea that there's only an abstract, pure love. Love is about that in the soul as well as in the physical, in the natural world. As sexual bodies are too, so is love, which fits in with much of Donne's early poetry.